And we're back, folks. We are on episode 1 of this roll cage install. So right now, kind of just set our main bars out here. This thing is just kind of propped up in here. I want to show you guys how I usually start. So essentially what I'm going to do in here, the harness bar, they already had this cope, so I slid it in there. It fits pretty tight. That's a pretty simple bar to make. I don't know if I should really go over it. Obviously, set your main hoop in here and measure in between. I mean, make your copes. Pretty simple. The copes are pretty nice. I think this is a Rhodes race car. I'll double check on that. But so right now I'm gonna measure from rocker bar to outside a tube on both sides and make sure it's exactly right. I'm pretty anal about measuring shit. Probably because that's all I do at my day job. So yeah, we'll measure both sides, make sure it's center, and then I'm gonna make a mark on the floor where center tube is, and then I'll actually punch a hole in both sides in the same exact spot where the main hoop is gonna go, and then we'll slide our plates in, mark our plates off, and then clean it, and then tack the plates in, get the hoop back in here. I'll probably tack and weld these right away. I don't see why not. It's going to save me one to do in the car. Not sure if I could get the halo bar in here. Probably not. Probably won't fit through the door jamb. But yeah, so I'll probably get these welded. Obviously you want the harness bar within 4 inches of the driver's shoulder. Right now his shoulder sits, you know, right above the seat here. So cleaned up. Okay, so we need 27 3/8 from the bottom of the main hoop to the top of the bar. We're at, I mean, shit, actually, I nailed it. I nailed it there. Alright, y'all, we have her welded up. Those copes that they gave us are cut with like a plasma, or probably some sort of a plasma when it comes off the machine, so they're not that great. The ears kind of span out past the sides, but I ran the front of the ears for the front of the main hoop tight, and the back was kind of gappy, but yeah, the front came out pretty decent. Okay, so while it's out of the car, although we can't really tack this on because it's not going to fit through the door jamb. So essentially we can measure what we have in between here and then get our center on here and then kind of measure where we're going to be at on the main hoop, and then we can at least get it cleaned up. That way it'll be easier to tack it. So obviously the halo bar has to get coped yet. We're going to see where the bends are on here once we get it laid out. And then we can kind of cope that accordingly based on how well it fits in the car. So let's go ahead and lay that out really quick. Like I said, we'll find center of this, measure off of probably our straight. This is level with this. Obviously, you guys just seen that. So I'm thinking easiest way to do it would be to measure our center of harness bar, mark that, and then run a square off of this up to there. That'll give us our center up there, and then we'll be able to measure out obviously half of our halo bar. So pretty simple. I'm gonna hammer that out, and then I will catch back up with you guys when I'm putting this in the car. So Alright guys, I just got that all laid out. So that's going to be that side, that's going to be that side where it lands. Another little trick I do, some of the shit is just shit I've figured out myself. It's just the way I do it. Some people might think it's fucking stupid, you know, I feel it. People do shit all sorts of ways. When I do a cope on a bend like this, typically I'll mark a line on center, right? On both sides of the tube. So essentially what I'm doing is marking on the cope where the short side of the fish mouth is going to go. So those marks are where I marked on here when this thing is set up on here. That way I kind of have an idea of how it's going to go in the notcher. So that helps me when I put it in the notcher. I can kind of run, which I can't really hold all of it together, but so for example, like I'm gonna try to line the notcher straight onto that line and then see it on the other side, so it'll go through straight through to that one on center on that mark, right? Because then I know the angle of the notch is gonna fit the main hoop here. So alright guys, let's get this main hoop in there. I'm gonna tack in those floor plates and then we're gonna slide this main hoop in there and get it tacked up. So I'm going to mark kind of where the tube is here. This marker is so cooked, man. I can't even see it. Anything but a pen. I gotta get a white paint paper in a second here. Okay, the pen actually does a little better. It's kind of funny how that works. Okay, so I kind of marked where the tube is going to sit on this side, the OD of the front of the tube. And yeah, it's just going to kind of sit back like that. Okay, so I'll take this and I'll find a point to measure to here. This one's going to be a little bit. Alright, see if you guys can see this. You can kind of see center lines here, and then our outside of tube line goes around like this. So I'm going to go ahead. This is a 2-inch hole saw. I want it a little bit bigger just so it's not such a fight after everything gets fit up. We're going to go a little bit past the front, maybe like 3/16 or so past the front edge, because the cage is going to want to try to go towards the windshield when we drop it. So yeah, we want to go a little bit forward, and then we'll punch this thing on both sides. Here's our plate. A lot of times you can build a box that kind of holds it up like this, and then go around and then slide this out, drop the cage down to the floor pan. But I like doing it this way. The more area that touches the legitimate floor pan, I feel like the stronger it's going to be. Aside from that, you don't have such a shear point. You know, when you go down, that's just it's kind of meeting it. You know, it's hard to tell on the camera, but kind of meeting it like a shear point. Not that it would ever, but essentially we're going to do this. Some of these we might fill in with a little bit of a piece here and here. We'll get these marked out, get them set in here the best we can. We could always put a bend in it too, like here, and then come up the back, but I don't think we'll need to. I think we'll notch this little guy out, and then we'll be able to slide it tight against the rocker on this side. That side's going to be the exact same deal. So Alright folks, just to kind of show you guys where we're at here. I think we're going to attempt to take the visors out just because of the simple fact, you guys can't really tell right there, but I got my little Milwaukee on me. I don't be able to get it, but alright, look at this, guys. Okay, so with the visors in, we have 6 inches. I mean, 6 inches. I mean, it's hard to tell, but it's not a lot of room in between the steering wheel. 6 inches, guys. There we are, guys. I kind of got it how we want it. It's going to go up. So most of this edge you're not going to see. Simply because obviously we got to go up, you know, quarter, probably, I don't know, inch and a half. That's the difference it made. You guys can tell just with removing those visors. It makes a huge difference, unfortunately. Even from the front, now you can barely see it. It's going to go up even a little bit more, but makes a really big difference, just that little bit. So unfortunately, big rip to the visors, but gotta go. So yeah, I'm gonna make our reference line here and over there, and probably here, and then we're gonna go ahead and we'll cut the access off and then get our notch on it. We'll follow our marks that we originally had on here, because we know those are gonna be very close for the notcher. And yeah, let's get this thing fit in here. And here we are, guys. I got the sucker in the notcher. These are the marks I was referring to a little while ago. This is the center, and then I marked the center on the bottom and the center on the top, right? So essentially you want to run your notcher straight through at that same angle. This will kind of give us our main hoop bend that goes like this. So this is, we're looking at the bottom, so essentially I'll turn you guys around. That'll be kind of that bend that goes straight up, and then that one will go down to the floor. That's why I put those center marks on here. And then this is our side mark here, where we need that shortest part of the notch. And then yeah, like I said, I always try to run straight down through the center. I have the center of the tube on the main hoop marked here on the end, so that way we can get our kind of our shaft of our bit straight vertical. So obviously, I don't know if you guys have worked with these set at 0. Obviously it's not a miter cut. It'll just be a straight on 2D, I guess you could call it. So yeah, let's get the sucker notched. And there we are, ladies and gents. Sucker's fit up, looks pretty good. Now, onto the pillar bars. Chopped off 3 inches on the long side on the top, just to try to get her in here. Let me throw this cap on here, wherever it went. I'm trying to do this one hand here. Alright, so I'll show you kind of what we got here. Okay, so I like it. It's close, but I think we're going to get the bend protractor up here and just see what we can do to try to keep this. Obviously, we don't have a lot of room with the way the dash is made. So I like to keep it tight to the dash there, like that. And then I think we'll just throw a little bend on the end, maybe like a 45, and then try to stick it, you know, somewhere on the halo bar bend here. But I'd like to try to get this sucker bent. Put this line on here, almost where this bend is on the A-pillar. And hopefully we can get center of bend there. And then I mark center on this side, as in center of this tube. So when we put in the bender, we'll try to kind of bend it up in at that angle. So yeah, we'll try to keep it as close to the pillar as possible. Yeah, we'll get these bends on there, and then I will get back with you guys. Alright team, so I got her cleaned up pretty good. Essentially what I'm going to do here is I'm going to measure center 1 3/4 inches. So I'm going to just put that in here, 1 3/4 inches. And then, you know, I'm going to just pick a reference point here. Probably 2 3/4 inches from the edge there. So 2 3/4 inches. That way, kind of know. Two 3/4 going to be right here. Put a mark here, and 1 3/4 inches in from this. It's going to be right here. That's going to be center of our hole there. As long as we run this to the edge here, this plate to the edge. Essentially just like that. That'll get us really close. The easy way to do it would be just to grab another piece of tube. Got a little cut piece right here. I'll just throw this in here and center it on that mark. So that's roughly where our hole is going to go. Our hole is. This is just a reference for where our leg is going to come down. Alright, yeah, we'll get this sucker cleaned up and prepped and tack it all in here. Alright folks, we're going to do the same procedure over here. Get the hole punched, hit her with the wire wheel, clean it up real good, lay out our hole on our plate, stick her down, get the A-pillar bar in here. Alright guys, here's my nifty little bend checker. It's a little excessive, but I just wanted to make sure. I taped a laser pointer on both sides, and this will kind of, we'll shoot one on here and we'll shoot one on that bar through the package tray down to that ARB bar, that crossbar that the ARB is mounted on. That way we can kind of see exactly what we need for an angle. We want to go through the package tray and then right up to our main hoop. Let's go about a 30. You could probably just kind of eye this up, but say 30 would probably work. It's going to be very close to the window. Maybe we will do a 35. I like a 35. We'll kind of put it at a little bit of an angle. Kind of just like that. Like that. 35 it is. Just double check on this side. Alright guys. Just a quick check on that, and I'm gonna measure those pieces up, get some tube ordered, and then we'll keep moving. Maybe 25 to center. Yeah, we'll go 25 to center. Or should we just do 26 just in case? Let's do 26. We'll start there and then we'll work our way down. Try to get that bend exactly really close to the back window. Essentially, I'm going to double check this one. And obviously I measure all the bends to center all the time. It's the easiest way to do it. Yep, same with this one, I think. We'll do 26 just to start. That'll give us some extra. So. There, guys, and then again, a quick way to mark these. I just set them flat, right? Flat on the bench, and then I just eye up the dead center of the top, you know what I mean? And that way we'll be able to sink, and then I mark the ends. We'll be able to sink that bit straight through here. Alright guys, I got, shit, it's kind of hard to see in here. I got most of these burned out. At least what I can get to them. So, at this point, we will snip these, and snip these plates, slide the plates out. Shit, I'm not even putting it there. Snip these, slide the plates out. And then we'll drop this thing down and we will burn the top and get it actually back up into place for a final actual fit. And then yeah, the dash bar is temporary. I don't know. I haven't talked to Jim yet, so it's really up to him. It's just so tight because obviously the wheel, like the gauges, it's all tight. Everything's tight in here. With the cage being in front of the dash, everything's tight, obviously. So. There you have it, guys. Just remember to take your time on your layout. They all fit right in the holes all the way around. Do your layout. That's all I can say. Makes your life a world easier. You pull the plates and drop it, and it's that simple. You can get to these real easy. Those real easy. I mean, don't get any slicker than that, guys. Alright guys, we got her back up. Everything's tacked in on the bottom. Everything's welded all the way around. I got those back. Support bars welded. I'm out of 75/25 for the MIG welder. I'd like to get these plates done up on the bottom, but I'll have to go get gas this week at some point. So in the meantime, we will start on these diagonal bars. We're gonna just run those from up as close to here as we can, somewhere in here, and then just straight down to here. So we'll get the 4 pans cleaned up. And here we are, guys, kind of in the home stretch here. I'm gonna fix up these copes a little bit, get them where they need to be, and then we will shorten this essentially until it drops, you know, center of this pad here towards the back. I want it. Yeah, so we will get the copes cleaned up and get them shortened up and get them tacked on there. That's it. Alright guys, so I just want to run this through with you guys quick. I know I try not to bore you. A lot of you guys that watch my channel probably don't need the real intricate, detailed how-to process. You guys just enjoy watching shit get built, which is totally understandable. So I try to, you know, I'll give you a warning. You know, this is, as far as the explanation goes, that seems pretty, you intricate, or it's a big process. But anyways, to do this quickly, I'm gonna just measure, you know, your top of cope. This has already got a top of cope here, so I'm just gonna measure, you know, down to the center of our pad. But obviously this is gonna be on the longer side, right? So the long side of both ends, essentially, because it's going to be the longer side of this one too, because it's got a miter on the bottom. This is going to be the long side of the miter on the bottom and the long side of the cope end on the top, right? So I would say we'll run it a little bit long and just see how it looks. Let's do 29, right? So then I'm going to take this and I'm going to run 29 from the top of cope, because we're going to have to fuck with the throat of it, the short side of the cope, because it's not the correct angle for what we're doing here. But that's not going to affect our long side, right? This is going to essentially get us close to, I'm going to straight cut it at 29, and then we'll be able to kind of knock that bottom off on the short side, and then we'll be able to fix up that cope. So yeah, we'll cut it to 29 straight, and then we'll figure out our miter and then how far we want to go on the throat on the short side of the cope. So just a quick kind of little tip of how I do these. And there we have it, guys. Diagonal bars are welded, at least on the top. So all the bottom ones obviously got to get done yet. I just kind of wanted to get them in there and get the tops done. So yeah, now we can start on the door bars. Essentially, I'm going to put the door bar right on the harness point there. So I guess the easiest way to do these, some people do them above or below or whatever, but easiest way to do these, probably just going to take the coping bit and just send it right in the side on just this ear on this side, and then it should fit around there. I'm gonna, what the fuck, mate? Holy shit, thing fucking falls off any other time. So essentially, I want to mark off where I want the center of my bend, which will probably be kind of in this area. Put a mark here. I'll get this on tight up where I need it, and then I'm going to make a mark down there to make sure I can hit it down there. And then we'll kind of see exactly where our door bar here goes across our door handle, and then we'll stick it in the bender. We'll probably start with like a 5 or a 10 degree, and then we'll do the exact same to the other side, and we should be in business. So yeah, let's get going on these door bars. Alright team, in between doing these door bars, I got that sucker, those plates and the back side burned in. And then on this side, I'll essentially just cut a little pie cut here that'll fill in this gap. And then, I mean, obviously the sides are going to be pretty close, so we'll be able to deal with that. But I usually just kind of make a little box here for shit like this. It's just easier than trying to beat the metal into, because I mean, you got these ripples and on this low spot here. So, yeah, we will just cut a little pie cut in there and burn it in. Alright guys, so just a quick little update on the store bar situation here. I don't know if you guys can see it from here, but I just ran the notcher through this. Actually, yeah, this would be the cope like there. Ran it through sideways, fits really nice. I'm gonna doctor it up just a fuzz, but I wanted to go around here. Get it where we need it here. And then I marked a line down there, and then I'm going to mark, can't see with my damn glasses on, hold it up to my mark there, hold it on there, point there. So then I'm going to mark the center of the bend here. I do something like there, just to make sure we're going to come away from it before. Maybe we'll go back a little bit more, like here, an inch back. I like that. Alright, so then I know where the center is. I'll measure back based on how much that bend, that 10 degree is going to take up, or maybe I'll do a 5 degree. Mark it back for the die, add 3/4 on the die, throw it in the bender, put a little bend on it, and we'll get it back in here and make sure it's going to fit. So let's do it. Alright guys, I think I went to like 8 degrees. It probably came out about 5. So essentially I'm going to hold it there. I'm going to hold it on my line down below. And then we are going to measure, because obviously on the bottom it's going to come over 1 5/8 inches on the side, right? So I got to make sure I have 1 5/8 inches from the tube to the door handle as it sits. So that'll tell us the bend's enough or not, or if we got to put it back in and throw a couple more degrees on it. So yeah, I'll measure this up, and then the same exact procedure on that side, and then yeah, I'll clean up these copes and get this sucker tacked in. Alright guys, door bars are in. Those are all burned out. essentially, we're gonna wrap up. Go ahead and cook up our plates really quick. Just probably, I don't know, whatever it's called, 14 gauge, whatever. A little bit thinner than 1/8, I think. Get our bend, notch it with our hole saw bit. Throw it in the vise and just bend it. Clean this up. I'm gonna burn this on before we put the plate over it on both sides, just to ensure that frame rail is gonna stay where it's supposed to. Granted, it's gonna no matter what. But we will get these plates cut, and then I'll essentially just cut it flat across, and then have half of the hole saw on this side and half the hole saw on that side. And then we'll kind of just piece it in here and TIG weld it up the best I can, and yeah, we will get her shipped on our way, unless Jim wants the seat mounted or steering column put in, etc., etc. I gotta get a hold of him here, but yeah, this is gonna pretty much wrap up the video for this. We'll do those plates really quick, and then we'll do just a recap of everything, and that'll be it. And just a quick little overview here. We'll probably do about 5 inches width on both sides. What do we got here? Probably, I don't know, let's just do 8 to be safe. 8 inches by 5 inches. We'll cut 2 rectangles, and then we'll kind of get our where the center of the tube is roughly, and then we'll kind of put it on there. I guess more critical since we're running a little tighter, so you know, you figure 2 inches to the center, which is pretty close on both sides. So yeah, we will get those cut up and get them bent. Alright guys, on second thought, I did measure it. I did cut out our rough 5 by 8, and then I'm getting a little low on that thinner gauge material, so essentially I went full TISM and made little templates. Takes a little bit more time, but that way you don't have any mistakes. You literally trace this on your material and let her rip. So, you know, I mean, pretty simple. That's all it's going to be for both sides. I'll get those cut, and then I'm going to weld around the outside and weld around the tube there. So it's kind of what I have for you guys. I guess you guys don't really need to watch that. You can tell obviously what's going on with the cardboard. So essentially I'm going to get with Jim and see what else he wants done on this sucker. Otherwise he might end up coming and taking it home, and then we are going to get on this deal. Neither of these cars have been touched, and the foxbody has not been touched, so any extra available time I've had on this thing, which is great. I really wanted to get that done sooner for Jim, but it's kind of tough. Every other weekend I got the kids, so I don't really do shit out here when I have the kids. So yeah, essentially what we have coming up is this needs to get painted, because that Chevy orange is GAY, and then I gotta weld the bung on the oil pan for the return for the turbo. It needs a wiring harness, because I ended up giving away, well, essentially I traded my 5.3 for this 6 liter, so I didn't ask any questions. Hopefully the motor's good. It should be. He said it was pretty much brand new. So we're gonna put an oil bung in it and then get it in here, and it's a Gen 4 instead of a Gen 3, so the reluctor wheel timing sensor, whatever the fuck, I forgot off the top of my head what sensor it is, but it's on the front of the timing cover instead of behind the intake. So I just decided to say fuck it, give him the harness, just to make him happy. So essentially oil bung, motor in, harness, and then obviously we have to pull the interior in the old girl, and I want to get a cage put in this sucker. I haven't decided exactly what cage. Oh yeah, this is a whole nother deal, man. I wish I had more time, I will say that, because yeah, it's going to be a mad dash. Probably all of a sudden these next couple months are going to go by. It's going to be spring. Not that like I really need it finished, you know, I'm not like super diehard, oh my god I have an event in April or some shit like that, but like to have it done and running. I should send the fuel pump in. It did feel kind of iffy on the fuel system. It does need a anti-roll bar, well, a better one. It's got one in there. Maybe I'll run it temporarily. This I should really like blow out. I accidentally popped a concrete bag in there. So as you can tell, I have like a small concrete bunker in my fucking trunk. This thing, I thought about putting a roll bar in it just because, but I think because of the time crunch that we're about to be in here, it's probably not going to get much. A couple things here and there. I like to do some more content with it, but I just don't know what yet. And then obviously, the foxbody is still sitting outside under a pile of snow. So that thing could use the crank, and the crank swapped out of this and put in that. And then the strut tower's got to get done in that car. But that's all on the list. So hopefully I got to just start fucking dropping everything and getting to it. But it's tough to do around the holidays. So yeah, essentially guys, I appreciate it. I know it's been a while. It's been probably 2 months now, which sucks. But I kind of wanted to put all this shit out in one video. Instead of doing little ones. It's kind of almost more work to do little ones because then you got to sit there and edit and separate all of it. I'd rather just do all of it at once. Yeah, and then obviously my garage needs a clean. So there's been like 6 other people, probably maybe a couple more, that needs some exhaust and some of this and some of that. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to it. I'm only one guy and I only do this shit kind of as a hobby, so bear with me. I will be getting back to you guys on a lot of that work. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys holding on, and appreciate you guys watching the video, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks guys, stay tuned.